All right. So tonight we'll start off with the Q&A session. Let me see. Okay, tonight there's not too many questions, but maybe a bit more explanation. Okay, screen sharing. All right, can y'all see? Q1. Okay, hold on. It is slightly bigger a bit. Okay. Hopefully y'all can read the thing, because I need to wait now. Hold on, I have to adjust all my. I can't. Wait. Hold on. Okay. Now I can see. So, question 1. Can Bhante please explain the above passage? It so happens that to a samatha yanika, one who makes a samatha his vehicle, the contemplation generally takes place beginning from vipassana in respect of jnana, mentality. It should be known by retrospection that there are only a few cases in which contemplating is made starting from rupa. This is the background of the first statement of reason. However, in the case of vipassana yanika, the contemplation is generally made beginning from rupa, materiality. Only a few will contemplate using nama, mentality. Hence, even in the said tika, it has been stated as rupe vipassana biniveso, yebu yena vipassana yanikasa hoti, relating to the manner of the contemplating first on rupa in accordance with this tika. It will be found in chapter 5. So this one is from Mahasi Sayadaw, the treatise on the method of Vipassana insight meditation. So the person wants to know what is the meaning of this passage. Now, when it comes to Satipatthana development, then there are two ways that we can go about it, right? Two ways. One is using Vipassana yanika. That means you start off straight away using Vipassana way. You don't go through all the samatha practices and all the jhanas, right? This is the Vipassana yanika. Vipassana yanika also is this, You can call it Sukha Vipassaka, or Sutta Vipassana yanika, or Vipassana yanika, one with bare or dry insight, without any samatha jhana. The sukha here, not happy, This is double K, sukha. Sukha here means dry. One with dry insight, or bare insight. Not happy, not blissful. This is a different meaning altogether. So samatha yanika, one with tranquility as one's vehicle, or one's method of practice. Yana like yanika, come from the word yana. Yana here means like vehicle or a process, or you're used to it, or the method that you are used to it, or the process that you are used to it. So one use tranquility as one's vehicle. That means that in the samatha yanika, it means that this practitioner has at least one samatha jhana, and all the way to the 8th jhana, at least one, or you can have all or some of them. So And also, he uses this jhana. He uses this jhana. When he attains the jhana, he comes out from the jhana using that jhana, and then he goes into vipassana. So finally, everything has to go through vipassana in order for the liberation to take place, for nibbana to be realized. So now we understand these two parts here. But the thing is that it is mentioned in the text that it is mentioned in this part here. It is said that when one takes samatha yanika, that means one takes samatha as his vehicle. That means that he has some jhana, and then when he takes up vipassana, he will take up mentality, the object, the mind object, or the mentality object, nama here. So only a few cases, that means a few cases from the suttas and commentaries and so on, which contemplating is made starting from rupa, that means from the bodily, in this sense. Now, on those with the vipassana yanika, contemplation generally beginning from the rupa, that means from materiality. Only a few start from nama. The word tika here, it means sub-commentary. That means we have suttas, for example. If you have a sutta, then you have commentary. Then after that, you have sub-commentary. That means the sub-commentary is commenting on the commentary. Also, we have that one in the text, usually. Now, how do we make of these statements? In the let's which one do you want to start off first? Okay, let us start off with vipassana yanika first. Now, vipassana yanika are those who bereft of any form of jhana. You do not have any form of samatha jhana. You do not have any form of samatha jhana, and you have to start off with generally in the beginning of rupa. Why rupa? Why rupa? In the vipassana yanika, here first of all, when you start off with rupa or anything that is clear to you, it is because that you cannot take any form of subtle type of objects. Subtle objects, for example, like the mind, they are not clear, and even they are clear, they are not consistent because the mind has changed very fast. So one thing is that it is not clear, therefore you cannot take it as a vipassana object. Now, if it's clear for a short while, but it cannot able to sustain, then also you cannot able to see it as a meditation object. So these two parts. Now, because of the one thing is because of the object. Now, second thing is because of your mind is not developed. Your mind is not developed in the sense that your mindfulness is not strong. Your concentration is not strong. Your wisdom factor is not strong. Your effort is not strong. Everything of you is not strong. That means you cannot take all those subtle objects. If you take a subtle object, then you will not able to develop the vipassana part. So therefore, you need to take a clear, present, and at least those objects can able to sustain for a longer period of time. Now, that is where the body object comes in. So the bodily object, for example, like in a walking meditation, they are very obvious. It's obvious is that if you put your attention there, a lot of time they are there. So when they are there, it's easy for a beginner meditator to develop. So therefore they use the rupa. So they use the bodily contemplation, the bodily attention towards the body. So when you see the body again and again and again and again, you direct the attention there. Therefore, the mindfulness, the concentration, and the other wholesome mental states begin to develop, begin to cultivate. Because one of the criteria of mindfulness to arise, is to have a clear object. That one we're going to discuss about that in the next week when we talk about the mindfulness. So one of it, for mindfulness to arise, is you must have a clear object to you. So therefore, for Vipassana Yanika, then we begin by rupa. So a few will start with nama. When we say a few, that means it's like 1% or less than 1%. A few. Most of us, we are not in that category unless you have developed some degree of practice in the past. Then when your mind is kind of like clear, then when the object comes in, mental objects come in, it's already clear to you. But this one is a very rare case. Not to say there's none, but very rare case. So it is important that for a beginner meditator, without this one, you must learn how to take up a clear object. When you take up a clear object, then the object able to sustain longer. And then when it's able to sustain longer, or when it doesn't sustain long, then you move your attention to another clear object. Therefore, there is a strings of clear objects. And there, in that sense, your mindfulness will grow. Your mindfulness, you'll be able to cultivate the mindfulness. So this is important especially for a new meditator without the jhana. Most of us, perhaps like we are using this way. So we're using this way because of the nature of our mind is not cultivated. So we need to cultivate it. We need a clear, gross object. So this is samatha, Vipassana Yanika. Now, in a samatha yanika, one who makes samatha as a vehicle. Now here, when they start off with their meditation, with their samatha, with their path of liberation, they begin with samatha practices. Samatha practices here, there are many types of samatha practices. You have anapana, you have metta, you have karuna, you have mudita, upekkha, you have the kasinas, and so on. So you have a number of samatha practices that you can able to develop if you wish to. Now, let's say you practice this samatha meditation, and after some time, you able to attain the first jhana, and the real first jhana. Not like nowadays, I've seen that people, when they're like practicing 1 week, 2 weeks, a little bit of calm already, a little bit of calmness, a bit of tranquility, they say it's already first jhana. No, not yet. It's still far away. It's still far away. A lot of times, even as I said in the past talks, even these samatha meditators, they also fall into samatha upakilesa. They fall into samatha upakilesa. That means they crave or they attach to a very calm state, pleasant state of mind, which is not jhana. So therefore, if you able to practice this samatha meditation, and then you are able to attain the jhana, let's say the first jhana. And when you attain the first jhana, you also try to master the first jhana. That means you can able to come out of it, enter it, you can able to sustain it whenever you want. All right? And also, when you come out from that jhana, now, the next part here is to able for your mind to differentiate out the 5 factors of jhana. Yeah? The 5 factors of a first jhana, which is vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekagata. That means you have vitakka as a initial application of the mind, vitakka as a sustained application. Third is the joy or rapture. And then the 4th one is the bliss or pleasant feelings. And the 5th one is the concentration, ekagata or one-pointedness. Here you have these 5 factors of the first jhana. Now, coming out from the jhana is not necessary that meditator can able to define these 5 factors immediately. They have to train for the mind to able to see one factor after another. That means the mind has to be sharp. Because when you want to define one aspect of the mind with another aspect of the mind, it takes sharp wisdom. That means this is the faculty of wisdom, not the faculty of concentration, not the faculty of mindfulness, but it's the faculty of wisdom. So the wisdom is able to dissect them, each and every one of them, to see each and every factor. Okay? Now, I think some yogis, even some yogis can see it. Some yogis may not able to see it also, but they have first jhana, but they may not able to see anyone or all these 5 together. Sometimes some yogis may see one of the factors become more prominent, but when they look for the other 4 factors, not there. Yeah? Not so clear. Yeah, some other time when they practice, the other factor may be clearer. Then the other 4 factors are not so clear. Yeah? So it's not easy to define these 5 factors of the mind. Even when you do some Vipassana meditation also, it's not so easy for the mind to define those things. Now, take for example, just this vitakka and vichara will do. One is initial application, one is sustained application. Then what is that when it comes into when you're doing the meditation? How are you going to know that character is an initial application? How is it that this is a sustained application? How is it that sustained application is different from mindfulness, is different from concentration? So you must have the skill, and you must have some understanding about the Dhamma, theoretical understanding, and then it will help you to define that better when you comes into your samatha development. Okay. Now, when you have this able to attain samatha jhana, as long as you able to do it again and again. Now, one day, then you figure out that, okay, I think I have enough of this samatha meditation. Now I want to go into vipassana meditation. So when he wants to go into a vipassana meditation, he develops his samatha. And right now, because of his proficiency of developing samatha meditation, he can able to attain the jhana in a very fast manner because he already done it for so many times. So he attained the jhana. Okay, when he attained the jhana, then all the faculties of the mind, that means the effort, the concentration, mindfulness, everything becomes at the optimum level. They bring it to the optimum level, already strong and clear. So right now, what they do is that they want to turn into this one into vipassana. They come out of the jhana meditation. And then they begin to define these states these five traditionally, they define this vitaka, vichara, and so on. And they just take up one of the prominent one will do. You only have to take up one prominent one and you pay attention to it and you see how it changes. You see how it comes, how it goes. And then usually when you can able to define it as you can see the mind very clearly, and also you can see the body very clearly. That means you begin to go into the Vipassana path. So after that, you can see the interaction of it, how these mental states are interacting with the body interacting with the mind, and so on. So the meditator begins with the mental objects. And it's fine for that meditator to start off with a mental object. It is because of the faculties of the mind is already well developed. It's well developed because the mindfulness is at optimum level. The other mental wholesome faculties are already at the optimum level. All he needs to do is to change object only. Maintain the strong faculty of the mind, change the object into a vipassana object, and then we'll begin to see things as they really are. And then with that, then you go into anicca, dukkha, anatta, and you see things very clearly. And he can take up the mind also because that time, the mind is also a very clear object when the faculty is strong. When your faculties are not strong, your mental objects are not strong, therefore you cannot take up the mind. If your faculties are strong, like when you come out from a samatha meditation or come out from a samatha jhana, then your faculties are very powerful, very penetrative. All you need to do is switch object, and usually they'll go into the mind because the mind is fast, is quick, is changing, is very obvious for a samatha meditator. So this is what it means. From there on, he goes into vipassana, and then he keep on noting. So there are those who start off with nama. Also, it's perfectly all right, no problem. But when it goes into rupa, there are some who start off with rupa for a samatha meditator. Then they start off with the rupa. But then when they start off with the rupa, the rupa become too obvious, too strong sometimes, too strong until sometimes the mind can able to put the body into sometimes a very difficult state. In a very difficult state. Sometimes all this pressure and tightness and everything becomes overwhelming. So it doesn't have to need to go into rupa, but all you need to do is to see the nama part, and you see all the changes, the dukkha, anatta, anicca, dukkha, anatta inside the nama part, the mental part. So it's perfectly all right for that meditator. So as long as the meditator is not attached to the calmness of the samatha meditation, don't like just practicing a little bit and then wants to go back to samatha, a little bit vipassana, and go back to samatha, then that is not good. You want to stick with the vipassana. Then after some time, if he finds that himself is tired and so on, then he can revert back to samatha meditation, regain some clarity, some de-stressing, and then he can come out from the samatha and then go into vipassana again. Then he can do that. That is what we call samatha yanika. Because of his faculty is strong, then he can take up nama in that aspect. Now, a samatha yanika also is that when you say that samatha yanika, he uses jhana, then after that, he comes out from it, then he goes into vipassana. Perfectly all right. But there's another type of meditator which he has samatha meditation, but he does not use his jhana for vipassana. Other words, maybe he has practiced samatha meditation before and he able to achieve jhana in the past. But then after a while, he didn't practice samatha meditation. He stopped his samatha meditation. Therefore, he cannot able to go into jhana. When he cannot go into the jhana, then obviously, when he wants to start off with a vipassana meditation, then that one also is called a vipassana yanika. Because this time he doesn't use the jhana for the sake of vipassana. So because of that. So of course, if he or she wants to, all he needs to do is to cultivate it again. For some time, then cultivate it again. Then after that, convert it into a vipassana meditation. Then it becomes a samatha yanika. So can. Yeah? Now, on another note, don't think that samatha meditation is an easy practice. Samatha meditation sounds easy, but don't forget that your hindrances are still very strong. So when you develop the samatha path also, there will be a lot of hindrances coming in. And to attain a real jhana, it will take you some time. It will take you some time. It all depends. I really do not know. But it will take you some time. It's not as fast. I've seen people that sometimes they're within a week or two, and then sometimes we give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, maybe you could be a very fast meditator, very quick, able to attain. But sometimes we ask them to describe their experience a little bit and so on. So a lot of them, the samatha meditation has not, the samatha is not samatha jhana yet. It's a lot to do with calmness and pleasantness, and then that's it. So that's about this one. So you want to read this book? It's quite a technical book. The Treatise on the Method of Vipassana Meditation, Insight Meditation, is quite a long thing. Some parts also they extract out from commentary, sub-commentary. So a lot of intellectual work inside there. A lot of practice also, but also a lot of intellectual description. So a lot of time people may not able to be so keen about reading all these things. Those who wants to get out of samsara, ones who really want to get out of samsara, maybe they will open up this book and try to read a little bit. So this one you can get it from, I think, from the internet also. If you take a look for it. Yeah? Okay. Next question. These two persons who asked the question, first question and also the second question, these two persons, also they asked some, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, also very technical question. And tonight only I have 2 questions and nothing else really. Anyway, but tonight one is not so technical. Although the words are technical, but the understanding is not so technical. Question number 2. Is niyata vyakarana, sure prediction made by a Buddha, so important to determine a Neya class individual in her encounter with a Buddha sasana and release from ills? Number 2. Does this mean if one putting forth effort in treading the Noble Eightfold Way, have mature paramis with right view, etc., it cannot lead one towards liberation? Now, when I get these 2 questions, I kind of know where is it coming from already. It is coming from from the one question also was being asked in the past, I think about a month ago. We also discussed a little bit on some of these things also. The this first question, the statement comes from the Requisites of Enlightenment by Lady Sayadaw, by Requisites of Enlightenment. And this one question 1 and question 2 here, I'm going to explain it together. But first of all, I need to show you the text first. I need to show you the text in order for us to understand what you mean by sure prediction, Neya class, and these things. If for those people who do not know what I'm talking about. All right. So, can you see Bodhipakia Deepani, the Manual of the Requisites of Enlightenment? Now, this book here, y'all can able to download it from the internet. There's a lot of places. The book is called the Manual of the Requisites of Enlightenment. And then this is by Lady Sayadaw. But this manual, this Deepani, this manual, it doesn't, this Lady Sayadaw didn't write one requisite of enlightenment. He wrote a number of it. Wait, now I think I have a book here. Hold on. I have a book here. It's called the Manual of Buddhism. All right. And inside this Manual of Buddhism, they have a few manuals that's combined together. And one of it is the Requisites of Enlightenment. Another one is the Manual of Right View. I tell you all kinds of right view. Then the Manual of Certainty, or Niyama Deepani. Then you have path, the Manual of the Path. Then you have the Manual of the Four Truth. Everything. And so there's a lot of explanation. So one of the manual is this Manual of Requisites of Enlightenment. Now I can share your screen again. Okay. All right. Now here in this manual of, can you all see this one? All right. Okay, good. Now let me remove this first. Okay. Now here there are 4 types of person that they, in the 1 month ago, I think one or more, a bit more, there's 4 types of person that is going to able to have attainment. One is this Ugahati Titanyu. Here this person is unique, who able to just hear a little bit, and then you can able to attain already. Encounter the Buddha, you listen to a little bit, then attain the path of fruition already. Number 2 is that you are going to hear a little bit more, some length, then only you can able to attain. Now, in the nowadays, we only have number 3 and number 4. Number 3 is that when you practice for a long period of time, and also you must learn quite a lot, and you have to practice definitely, then only you can able to attain the liberation. Maybe it says that over here, it says for days, months, or years, in order that he may attain the path and fruit. Okay. Now number 4 here, it says that you cannot attain in this life. Although you may able to meditate, but you may not able to attain in this life, but you can attain in the next life, or when you meet with the Buddha Sasana again. Okay. When you meet with the Buddha Sasana again. Now, so these are the 4 classes. Now, if you want to go and read, further reading, you can go and look out for it. I've just explained to you this one briefly. Now here, the Neya class, just now the question number 1, it asking about the Niyata Vyakarana, sure prediction made by the Buddha. Here, what it means by a sure prediction. Now, here before we talk about it now, if the effort during this life is not sufficiently intense as to enable one to attain the path and truth, then the release from the worldly ills cannot be obtained during the present sasana, which, while released during the future sasana, can be obtained only if the individual encounters them. No release can be obtained if no Buddha sasana is encountered. It is only in the case of individuals who have secured niyata, vyakarana, sure prediction made by a Buddha, that an encounter with the Buddha sasana and release from the worldly ills is certain. Any individual who has not attained sure prediction cannot be certain either of encountering a Buddha sasana or achieving release from the worldly ills, even though he has accumulated sufficient paramis to make both of these achievements possible. Now, these are considerations in respect of those individuals who possess the capability of attaining the path and truth by putting forth effort for 7 days, but who have not attained the sure prediction. Okay? For 15 days or longer, huh? All right. Okay. Now, if you want to read some more things, there are further description about all these things, but right now, while we are here in this time, there's only go back again. There's only 3 and 4 only. 1 and 2 none. It's not the time right now. But then sometimes there are monks who says that some monks who says that, oh, no problem. All you need to do is just read the suttas will do. All the suttas, if you have read, then you're already sotapanna already. No, not so simple. You have to put in a lot of effort to practice. A lot of effort. Those who think that just by reading the suttas, then you can get enlightenment. You're already, and you believe that you fall into a lot of wrong view already. And also another type is that they don't want to practice one. There's another one is that they want to go and listen to what some Sayadaw or what some Ajahn says, what some Longpo says, all this, and then some chanting they do, then only immediately can get enlightened. That also impossible for nowadays. For nowadays. So this is what it means by over here. Okay, now we go back to the question again. We go back to the question. We stop the sharing. We go back to the question. Okay. Can you all see the question again? Okay. All right. So, is Niyata Vyakarana, sure prediction made by a Buddha, so important to determine a Neya class individual in his encounter with the Buddha sasana and release from the worldly ills? Now, if your question number 1 and number 2, of course, if we, let's say, if we do not have any sure prediction, then all our effort cannot be attained already. That is to say, anyone want to attain Nibbana, you must have a prediction. That is cannot not like that. Now, what do you mean by a sure prediction of the Buddha? A sure prediction here, it means that sure prediction, it means that the Buddha predict that what is going to happen. But the Buddha has no part involved in it, It doesn't have a part involved in it. It's just that the Buddha can see the outcome, but the Buddha has no part into it. All the part that the person that is going to attain, the Buddha, which is omnisciency, with his omnisciency, he can able to see what the person will do, how he will do it, and how he will meditate, and how he will able to gain the liberation. even at this, let's say right now the Buddha is around, and you gain the sure prediction of the Buddha. That means when the Buddha sees that you have a sure prediction, that means the Buddha knows that this person you will have the ability in the coming future to develop and to develop fully until you can able to gain the full liberation. But the Buddha, as I said, the Buddha has no part into it. The person has to do all the work himself. Okay, the person has to do the work himself. There's no interference by the Buddha. Now, when the Buddha able to see that person, that means he knows that the person has the capability to develop. Even right now, at this moment of time, he doesn't have all this mental cultivation, nothing yet. He doesn't have all this capability yet. He sees that this person or this being in the future will definitely will be able to gain full liberation. Sometimes in this life or in the future lives. Sometimes future life means very far into the future too. So therefore, a sure prediction is the Buddha can see what is going to happen, but the Buddha has no part doing your development for you. So don't think a sure prediction is like that. Now, a Neya class of individual here. Here, the Neya class of individual is that right now, for example, like right now, we don't have a Buddha. We don't have the Buddha to make the prediction for us, And also, the Buddha also have no time to go and look into your future. Also, all for everybody, everybody want to know. And then there's some people thought that, make sure prediction already, and then now can shake leg already, and don't need to develop so much. Surely the Buddha sees already. Surely can arrive already. It's not like that. So you got to make a effort. Now, here this is the time. This is our time right now. For example. We do not have a Buddha to this one. You don't go believe next time. Any monk will tell you, sure to get already. That one, the sure prediction belongs to the Buddha only. It cannot belong to Bhikkhu or even to Sariputta also. It's not within our capability. It's a capability only for the Buddha. So sometimes some monks wants to make a prediction of this yogi or this monk or this nun in coming future and so on. He want to surely get ready. Like that. Y'all be careful. If you can predict, then must go and predict the number better. At least you get rich. Which is actually right now, there are some monks who do that, Sometimes you read in the newspaper. I read at one time, not too long ago, recently on here, some businessman going to see the monk. The monk gave him the 4 number or the lottery number, and then he got the 4 number. So chun, and then so correctly predicted the number, and then after that he got a lot of money, and then he donate back to some money to this one, and then come out in newspaper. This is not what we do, prediction. So anyway, this one belongs to the Buddha. So now we do not have that thing. When we do not have that thing, we do not know how our path will take place. When we do not know how the path will take place, then we must make the effort. We must make the effort to develop what needs to be developed. What needs to be cultivated, you need to cultivate it as much as you can. Now, if this life you cannot attain, next life, if you become a deva, and if you become a deva, and then if the sasana is still around, then there's a possibility that you may attain in the next life. Because if you have, for Neya class, or this class of people, you need to meet a sasana. You need to meet the teachings of the Buddha. If so happen in the next life you cannot able to see the sasana, then in the future Buddha, perhaps you may able to meet the perhaps if you meet the sasana again, then yes, you can liberate from there. But for Neya class is that these people is like, if you practice a lot, then you can actually develop it. If you cannot, then you wait for the next life or the future lives. But for the fourth class just now, the Panditarama, that one, although he practiced a lot, but this life he cannot able to attain until he meet with the future lives, or in the next life when there's a sasana around, then he this one. So in this life, the fourth class is that he cannot able to this one. So we do not know whether we are in the third class or fourth class. Right now, how are you going to know? Who's going to predict you? Who's going to look at you? We have no Buddha to look at us right now. So we try. We keep trying and trying and trying. We keep development and development. So if we develop the Noble Eightfold Path and the Satipatthana and develop the four right efforts, four foundation of mindfulness and so on. If we keep on developing and developing, then surely there will come to a time that whether in this life or next life or in the future lives, there will be attainment. But if you are lax, if you do not want to practice, if you go into a wrong view, if you go into all kinds of worldly attachments, then of course it will not be possible in this life, or perhaps also in next life. So, but if you are inclined, your mind is inclined towards it, then there is possibility. So, a lot of us right now have, you don't have an idea what it means by striving. Some people have an idea that striving is meditate at home, meditate 1 hour per day will do, that is their striving already. That is not the striving yet. That is not enough. Not enough for 99.99% people. Not enough for 99. Maybe there's 1% who there's a very 0.01%. Maybe there's possibility, but for 99.99% of you, impossible. You all need a lot of striving. That means you need to be away from the things that you love, the things that you like. Your daily habits and your daily career and your people that you love. In other words, you have to go into a retreat from the worldly pleasures and the worldly connections and the worldly habits and so on. A retreat from it, and when you're away from it, then only when you have a right teacher, the right view, the right precepts, the right virtue, the right concentration, the right foundation of mindfulness and so on, then when you strive and you do it again repeatedly, day, afternoon, night, again and again, 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks, 1 year, and that is striving. And the whole day is about that only. Whole day is about that. Even when you're eating, you also strive. Whether you are in defecating, you also strive. Whether you are in urinating, you also strive. There's no such thing as making it lax and so on. Only when you're sleeping, you cannot strive. Of course, that's the only time you can rest. But the moment that you start off, you wear your clothes, you wear your robes or anything, it already starts being mindful, being alert, being attentive already. So this is what we call striving. So here in the question 1 and 2, as I said, we put it all into one. We don't need a prediction of a Buddha. A prediction of the Buddha here is only for certain individuals only. When the Buddha met, and he knows that that person surely will go. Even if he doesn't have that prediction, even the Buddha doesn't put the prediction there, he will also attain already. The Buddha, because the Buddha can able to see that the Buddha make the prediction. But even as I said, even the Buddha didn't make the prediction. That person also will attain already in this life, for example. So, as I said, the prediction here is just a prediction by the Buddha. But because of the omnisciency, that means it was sure to happen already. So, as I said, it doesn't involve in our effort, in our this one. We still have to cultivate that effort, cultivate the mindfulness, and so on. So therefore, when we cultivate it well enough, then there's liberation. Okay? So that's about it for tonight. 2 questions only. All right. Anything else in the chat? Nothing. Okay. All right then. So we call it a night, and then we'll continue on the talk on the mindfulness on Monday. All right. Okay. So we share merits.